let's focus on personal development and let's direct this message towards the youth. But this principle applies to all. Um, and I want to direct this message towards the youth because I'm actually working on a project with a particular youth, young man by the name of Jeremiah, who's 8. Um, I think journalization is very important with coming up with techniques to educate a youth, to help build structure in a life that installs, God-given traits that are needed, in character development, which is the primary factor of personal development. Um, this young man is battling with anger. So one of the techniques that I developed was journalization. And the method I used was for him to see himself as a hero and to see anger as a villain. And that way you separate your identity, yourself from the problem. Because too often times we see our habits and our traits as just being part of us. We say that's just who I am. You don't like my attitude. That's and half the time it's not really who you are. It's just what you're battling with. So when you put it in a hero and villains, context, you help them see things in a proper perspective, actually. And then they're able to visualize that. And with those visuals, you have inspiration because heroes are going to win at the end, and a villain must be defeated. And then also, you help the child see that what he's doing, he's growing and developing. And oftentimes, it's not one time that you battle with a villain. With the shows that they watch, Superman, Batman, Spider Man, they don't just battle with one villain, one episode, and then next episode is a new villain. No, it'd probably be the same villain for the whole series. For that first season, they're battling with the same, villain. And each time there's a different technique that they have to learn. Each time there's a more strength and different strengths they had to build up to combat the new tactics of the villain that they're battling with. So I said that to say is that one of the techniques that I'm using first, to train him. I'm like the trainer. Like we think about Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, I don't want to use Mr. Roshi, but I'm gonna say Muden Roshi, Master Roshi. I'm like Master Roshi, and he's like Goku. You know what I'm saying? And he's learning his new techniques before he goes to his tournament and things of this nature, right? So I'm just going to share with you some of the material I used. I think it's very important for all human beings to journalize their daily progress, to journalize their emotions and how they're feeling. It helps release a lot of frustration. It helps also make you aware of your thought process. It helps with evaluating, certain negative things and negative traits and emotions within your thought process. It also helps you release certain built up emotions and preserves, your character so you won't get out of character when anger, such as anger, pops up. So some of those are the reasons, and some of those are factors of why I decided to use journalizing for this young man, but also so that he can come up with phrases to speak to himself as he reads this constantly throughout the day. He can be able to apply this when it's time for him to go to school, when it's time for him to interact. The more he reads this daily, and then sometimes when he feels like um, he did not produce the best results and anger may have overcame him that day, he should rewrite it, as a discipline of himself, like as doing some push-ups. It's like it's time for me to strengthen up. It's time for me to tighten up. Let me rewrite this. And then he may come up with some new things of his own, and then the more you rewrite it, the more it becomes programmed within your mind. You're working on retention to where you don't even need to read the paper no more. You memorize everything. And when you memorize it, it subconsciously pops up and it makes it easy to be applicable in your everyday life and when circumstances arises to challenge you or to provoke you to fall to anger. So I'm gonna read some of the material that I writ. God is teaching me how to drive. The first car I must learn how to drive is me. When I let God take the wheel, I'm safe. When I get angry and forget God is the driver, I'm in danger. God will steer me to my destiny. God will show me how to be a superhero. Superheroes have challenges. It may be anger. It may be kryptonite. One of my weaknesses is anger. Anger do not make me strong if I fall to it. Anger can make me strong if I overcome it. Anger will make me weak if I don't. I will not let anger take control of me. When I get angry, I will remember to sing, to be happy, to smile, to dance, or do push-ups. A superhero will beat anger. I am a superhero. For Jesus was a superhero and came against anger with love. If I have to be silent, if I have to cry, if I have to walk away to make anger go away, I will. Because people are not my problem, anger is. Battling anger will teach me to be patient. If I learn to be patient, I can learn to be kind. A lot of people fall weak to anger, but when I battle anger and beat it, I will be a hero to those people and make God proud. Heroes get weak, and when I do, I must remember Jesus and what he did for me. And read Matthew 6, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which Matthew 6 speaks about humility, and 1 Corinthians teach me love. I'll read this every day and write it as much as needed, especially if anger is around. God is my father and my hero, therefore I'm his son and hero. Now, I know some of y'all probably thinking like, man, children got ADHD. They ain't, some of these children got ADHD. They ain't about to, listen. When the child looks up to you, when the child considers some of the things that you have to say, when you have a sphere of influence, don't never neglect the impact that you can have in someone's life, especially when it comes to being concerned with their growth, actually having a genuine concern about something that's overcoming them. You know what I'm saying? They actually become humble because some of these things are neglected on a day-to-day basis by teachers, by people in the home. Like, and not even, sometimes I don't even think it's conscious, and I don't think it's deliberate. I just don't think people are aware of the power of influence and the opportunities and solutions that exist when it comes to character development, because these are things that possibly was not done for them when they were a youth. So you caring about little flaws within their lives and coming and then going out the way to not just say, hey, you need to work on your anger, but you took the time out to sit down and come up with a solution. No matter where you may have got it from this video, whether reading a book or whether you may apply this technique for yourself, the fact that you took the time out to actually help them address what they're battling with. Because remember, let's use our imagination, as a child, and then once again speak about it from a hero and villain standpoint. No one wants to go back to being a civilian, and have to take off that hero armor, especially with the youth. So when you come into their life and you present them a weapon, a technique, or armor or a shield, it makes you seem like an angel, a guardian, or even a hero, a friend, a comrade, a companion, of some sort. So don't be afraid or be discouraged to impact, the youth and those around you. But, like I said, I just feel like right now it's time for me to produce some things for the youth. I'm hoping this video was very helpful for all of my listeners, and that y'all go out your way to contribute into some youth lives. Thank you for listening.